Hello guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be showing you the 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. This is brand new for 2022, and the Wilderness was first introduced on the Outback and now it is on the Forester, and I think the Forester actually is the second car to get this trim. But let me go ahead and review it for you guys and show you all the features it has. Under the hood, there is a 2.5 naturally aspirated 4-cylinder engine. It is connected to a CVT transmission. This engine produces 182 horses and 176 pound-feet of torque. And the fuel economy numbers on this engine: 25 in the city, 28 highway, and 26 combined. Here is a MSRP sticker of this 2022 Forester. If you guys are interested in the standard features this one has, just go ahead and pause the video. And it does have one package, and it does have those accessories. And the price on this one is $37,000 with destination. So if you guys are curious about the color is called Crystal Blue, and it does look pretty good on this Forester. And there is 6 trims you could choose from. There is the base, there is Premium, Sport, Wilderness, Touring, and Limited. And if you guys are curious about the price on this one, it is $37,000 with the accessories and that one package it has. And since this is the Wilderness package, it does have 9.2 inches of ground clearance. I think the other trims are 8.7 if I'm not mistaken. But coming to the front, I really like the design. And there is a ton of flat black in the front. Even the grille is finished in flat black. Subaru badge is nice and big, and the design is very nice. I really like this textured black. From far away it does look like flat black, but when you get close to it you could see the texture in the plastic. Even in the bottom right here, this is textured to plastic. It does look very, very nice. And this Wilderness package or trim does have a front facing camera, which is nice. And I think the design of the grille looks good. And for the headlights, they have a really nice design to them. They are a little bit on the bigger side, and not everything right here in the front is LED. So the turn signal indicators right here in the front, they are halogen. High beam, low beam is LED. And for the fog lights, they are very bright and they are LED, which is nice. And in the bottom, there is this brushed aluminum trim. And on the hood, there is this black decal. But let's go ahead and move to the side. I'll show you the side view of this Forester. Here is a side view of this Wilderness trim, and it does look pretty good from the side. And as I mentioned, it does have 9.2 inches of ground clearance, and the other trims will have 8.7. And this Wilderness trim does have aggressive rubber, so if you get the other trims, they will have all season, but this one does have the all-terrain rubbers. And the size of those trims, they are 225, 60, 17, and honestly the size is good, and there's a good amount of rubber. And those tires do have white lettering on them, which I think adds a nicer look. And for the design of the rims, I personally think they look alright. I think Subaru could have done a little bit better job with the rim design. And they are finished in matte black, which I think is a nice color. And right here on the side, there is a good amount of plastic, so the fender flares are big, finished in flat black. And even there is a good amount of plastic in the bottom, but I really like the design in the bottom. It does say Forester in the bottom, and it is finished in that orange, bright orange color. And for the mirrors are finished in this textured plastic, just like the grille, which I think is really nice. And they do have turn signal indicators on them, and there is a small light that turns on when you open the door and the tailgate. Overall, I think design looks good. It does have the side molding. I think it's a $275 option if I'm not mistaken. And for the roof rails, they are actually standard on this Wilderness trim. The load capacity on those roof rails are 800 pounds, which is impressive. And the window trims, they're all finished in flat black, which is nice. And I'm glad that Subaru went with this route, because this is an adventure / off-roady vehicle, so I'm glad that there is no chrome. But let's go ahead and move to the back, and I'll show you the back view of this Wilderness trim. Here is the back of this Forester Wilderness, and honestly this blue looks very, very nice. It does look nice and bright blue when the sun is hitting it, but when the sun is not hitting it, it does look very dark. Subaru badge with all-wheel drive is all the way to the left, and they are finished in black. And Forester is finished in black, and it is on the right with the Subaru Wilderness badge underneath it. Subaru badge is nice and big right here in the back. There is a wiper, and I'm glad that Subaru brought this textured plastic even in the back. Even right here on the side, there's this textured plastic, which honestly looks amazing. And as I said, there's the wiper right there, and it does have the third brake light up there. And I completely forgot, this Forester does have a panoramic sunroof, and it does bring in a lot of lights. And for the tail lights, not everything right here in the back is LED, so the running light is LED, but the turn signal indicator and the reverse, they are halogen. And in the bottom, the bumper is finished in plastic, or that textured plastic, which honestly looks amazing. And this Forester Wilderness does have rear parking sensors, and the diffuser looks very, very nice. And the reflectors are massive here in the back, and does have single exhaust on the right. Here's a key. It does look good. Has a really nice weight to it. Feels nice and solid, and it does have 4 buttons on it: lock, unlock, tailgate release, and a panic button. And there's nothing in the back. There's a physical key inside of it. To be able to open the tailgate, you actually have to unlock the vehicle twice and then hold down the button. And if you actually do not unlock the car, the tailgate won't open. And tailgate opens nice and quick. There is a handle, and there's 2 buttons, one to close the tailgate and one to close the tailgate and lock the car. And inside there is a very good amount of space. The opening is massive on this Forester, and getting things in and out is very easy. So this is basically waist level, so very easy to get things in and out. And it does have the Harman Kardon sound system. This is part of a package, and you could drop the seats down from this button or switch. There is the other one right here on the left, 12 volts, and there is a privacy cover that you could basically close. If you have anything in the back, you could basically secure them. And by the way, there is the spare tire with the jack and the jack tools underneath. Let me go ahead and show you. And overall, there is a good amount of space in the back of this Forester. But let's go ahead and drop actually the seats down. The seats drop nice and quick. And by the way, those seats are very easy to bring back up. And I love the fact that there is just a ton of space. I know it's a little bit hard to see with that privacy cover, but guys, there is a ton of space in the back of this Forester. Here is the door handle. The door handle has a sensor right behind it. That's how you unlock the car. And to lock it, just go ahead and tap on this sensor. For the front door panel, it does look very good, and there is a lot of soft materials on this door panel, which is nice. This whole thing right here is nice and soft. The armrest is nice and soft. Even this whole thing right here is nice and soft. The only thing that is plastic is basically in the bottom, and this trim right here, it is that textured plastic, but it is a little bit different than the outside textured plastic. Again, guys, this whole thing is wrapped in leather, very nice and soft. I love the fact that it says Subaru Wilderness right here. And this whole thing right here is nice and soft. The door handle feels nice and solid, finished in chrome. And for the window switches and mirror controls, everything looks good. The front two are automatic up and down, and everything just feels honestly nice and solid. I love this orange stitching. This is plastic. A tiny bit of storage place in this door, and this is definitely plastic. And it does have the Harman Kardon sound system. It does have 9 speakers in this Wilderness trim. And for the seats, they're nice and comfortable, wrapped in leather. It does say Subaru Wilderness on the headrest, which is nice. And there is a ton of orange stitching with gray stitching, and there's even black stitching right here in the center. But yeah, those seats are comfortable. They're powered. It does have lumbar support, which is nice. And yeah, overall, I really love the design of those seats. But let's go ahead and move inside this Wilderness trim, and I'll show you how it looks like from the inside. Alright, so here is the interior of this Subaru Forester Wilderness. It does look pretty good, and I really love the orange accents everywhere, and there is a ton of orange stitching around the interior of this Wilderness trim. The steering wheel design looks right. The center is a little bit on the bigger side. There's this orange in the bottom, and the steering wheel is wrapped in leather. It has a good amount of thickness to it. It's not too thick and it's not too thin. There's a good amount of 10 and 2 grip, and as I said, there is a ton of orange stitching in the interior of this Wilderness trim. And right here, there's the seek buttons, volume controls. There is an info button and e-source. This info button right here will toggle through a few things right there. And for the gauges, they look very good, very easy to understand and read, but there is actually a good amount of empty space right here that I'm just noticing. The center screen does have a good amount of information in it, and I love the fact that it says Wilderness right there. And down here there is the phone controls, voice command, and this button right here, it will toggle through a few things. And there is a set button right here. I'm not exactly sure what is this for. Behind the steering wheel there is some paddle shifters. They feel a little bit on the cheaper side. And behind the steering wheel on the left there is the headlight controls with the fog light controls. Trip reset is right behind the headlight controls. And on the right is the wiper controls for the front and back. And here is the engine start stop. And on the right, that's where Subaru Eyesight buttons are. Basically, you have the adaptive cruise control, steering assist. You could adjust the gap, and you could turn on the cruise from here. You could turn on and turn off the whole system, so you could turn off the whole system or turn it off. And I'm not exactly sure what's those buttons for. I think this is basically, this S button is to give this Forester Wilderness more torque down low. When you need like a quick acceleration, you click on this button and it will give you more torque, I think. And right here on the left there is a good amount of buttons. There is the tailgate release. There is a memory for the tailgate release. I'm not sure what is this for. Probably has to do something with off-road, brightness control, blind spot, engine shut off, and then the traction control. And there is that small screen up there. And there is an 8-inch screen. It does have a good amount of glare on it. It does have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The system itself is a little bit on the laggy side. And here is a backup camera. Backup camera resolution is good. The things that are far away from the car, they're a little bit on the blurry side, but whatever is close to it is nice and clear. And the backup camera itself is nice and wide. There is a CD player right here, and a home button, volume knob, tune knob. Here is a map button. So it does have built-in navigation. And here is the emergency light button. And this Forester does have dual climate control. Here is the fan speed, temperature for the driver, temperature for the passenger, AC mode, and it's very easy to use. And in the bottom, there's a good amount of space. And 12 volt, 2 USBs, 1 aux. Here is the shifter that will control the CVT transmission. And it does go in gear nice and smooth. There's gloss black with that orange. And there is, this whole thing is wrapped in leather. There is this orange stitching, which looks good. There is a plus and minus, or basically a manual mode, and then you actually control the gears from the steering wheel. And right here there is a good amount of buttons: e-brake, brake hold. You'll have the drive modes. Here is a button to basically turn on the backup camera, but this is actually interesting because it turns on the backup camera in that small screen, not this big screen. And it does have heated seats, low and high. X mode is written right here. And the cup holders are nice and big. There is a storage place right here. For the armrest, it is nice and soft, and there is some orange stitching right here on the side. And inside there is an okay space. I really wish it was bigger. And there is a 12 volt. And for the rear view mirror, it is frameless, which I really like. And it's actually not frameless, but it does have very thin bezels. My camera's having a hard time focusing, but the bezels are super thin. It actually makes it feel like it's frameless. Anyways, it does have auto dimming function, and it does have the garage control buttons underneath it. And there is this button right here that is basically for the lane keeping assist. Here is the emergency braking button to open the sunroof, and this is for the lights, SOS, and it does have halogen lights, which is nice, and a glasses holder. And for the visors are very nice and soft, very nice and solid. There is an extension, which is nice. Not a lot of companies do that nowadays. And inside there is a halogen light. It is nice and bright, and the mirror is a little bit on the smaller side, but I'm glad that there is a light and a mirror. And I completely forgot, but this Forester does have a panoramic sunroof. Let's go ahead and open it. It is one touch, but you have to hold it for a second or two and then let go. And let's see if we could open it more. Yep, so you could open it all the way, which is very, very nice. And as I said, this panoramic sunroof is massive and it definitely brings in a lot of light. And I really like this stitching. This is actually nice and soft. This is a little bit on the softer side. It's hard, but definitely has like a softer feel to it. And right here, there's a good amount of space. But I really like what Subaru did with the interior of this Forester. For the back door, it does have the same soft materials as the front. So Subaru did not cheap out back here. This whole thing is wrapped in leather. I really like the fact that it says Subaru Wilderness here as well. And yeah, overall, I think they did a great job with the back door. This is soft. The armrest is soft. I love the orange stitching. I really wish this stitching was orange right here, but I think that's fine. Window switch in the back. There's a small cubby right here, and the door handle feels lighter than the front. And I love this textured plastic. This is actually plastic, not like the front. And in the bottom, this is plastic, which is fine. More of that textured material. There's a storage place and a bottle holder, speaker in the bottom. And inside there is a good amount of space. The seats are a little bit higher, so it does have that stadium design seats. And there's a good amount of leg room. More of that gray stitching and orange stitching. Design is the same as the front. And there is an armrest in the back. It is nice and soft, wrapped in leather. 2 cup holders. I really wish they were a little bit deeper. And up top there is a LED light, and inside there is 2 USBs, 2 AC vents, and that's how the front of this Forester looks like. I hope you guys enjoyed this review of this Subaru Forester Wilderness. I would like to thank Dan Perkins Subaru here in Milford, Connecticut, and Jeffrey for providing me this Forester. If you guys are around, and if you guys are interested, make sure to come check them out. I'm going to go ahead and put the information and link in the bottom of this video. And if you guys would like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.